YouTube, Team Rocket again. We got another deck profile here for you from the San Jose Regional. This is our second attempt at this, so we may get through this one a little faster, but we're just trying this again. Didn't quite upload right the first time, so I'll go ahead and let him introduce himself and see the deck.
Hey, so my name's Daniel. I got 75th out of over 540. I was pretty happy with my results for my first regional. I went 7-3. I can't complain. It was pretty good. I had a lot of fun. I was running a Doppelgunk Chaos deck, which actually was surprising a lot of people. People really didn't know what to side against it, so I think that played a big role on how well I did.
How did that guy describe your deck? It was just chaos with...
Yeah, he asked if it was just a chaos deck with junk and doppel thrown in it, and I told him yeah, because it's really what it is.
Yeah.
But like I said, no one really knew what to side, so I think that helped a lot. So to start off with the deck, the main cards in this deck are the Doppel Warriors. These guys, when they're sent to the graveyard for a Synchro Summon, I get 2 level 1 tokens, Warrior tokens with 400 attack each. And mainly I would use them just to sync more, but if need be, I would definitely use them to get an extra 400 or 800 damage in. That actually won me my last game of the day. So these guys are just great cards. You can't play junk without them.
You attacked with a token for game?
Yeah.
That's awesome.
It was a pretty interesting situation. Armageddon Knight. When he's normal summoned, I can send a dark monster from my... When he's summoned, I can send a dark monster from my deck to my graveyard. He's the easiest and most efficient way to get Doppel into the graveyard without setting it and wasting a summon or anything. Better than Foolish Burial because he's not a -1, and I can still attack with him or use him to sync next turn. Maybe use him to go to Utopia. He's just a great card. Junk Synchrons. These are... when he's summoned, I get a level 2 from my graveyard and with his effect negated. But with Doppel Warrior, since his effect activates when you're near the graveyard, it really doesn't matter. He's the main tuner in the deck. Instant 5s as long as I have a Doppel or a Raikou in the graveyard. And he's required to go to Junk Warrior, Junk Destroyer, or Junk Berserker. He's just a great card. I drew him a lot because I play 3. I can search him with Rhoda and Tuning. He's the most important and easiest to draw card in this deck, so I think that really helped with the consistency of this build.
Makes for a pretty solid top deck, too.
Yeah, definitely. 2 Raikous. I really couldn't not play them. They're lights, so they're Luster Soldier targets. They're level 2s, and they're beasts, so if I get them with Junk Synchron, I can go to Frozen Fitzgerald, which is one of my most important synchros. Also, they get to destroy cards, which is... how can that not help? Puts more cards in my graveyard to special summon my Chaos monsters, or to just target with Junk. It's such a great card in this deck.
Cool.
Card Trooper, I mainly use to put cards in the graveyard and to draw for the same thing. But I didn't really see him as much today as I would have liked. I only drew him maybe 4 times on the whole day. So that kind of sucked. I really didn't mill a lot, which made it a lot harder.
Would you go up to 2 then on the Card Trooper?
Yeah, I was definitely thinking of fitting a second one in here.
Okay.
But, Chaos Sorcerers, I played 2. I think 2 might have been a little much, just because I only summoned him twice throughout the whole tournament. But when I did, it just helped. Sangins, stuff like that, is just really easy to get rid of. I want to play 1, but if I play 1, I won't see it enough. So I'm staying at 2 for now. Gorge is just, you have to play it. It's a staple. I trolled with it so much.
Nothing wrong with that.
Yeah, he just changes the game. Or sets you up for huge turns, especially with my junks and my big sinks. Destiny Hero Plasma.
Nice.
This is such an interesting card to play in this deck. I can get it fairly easily with the Doppel tokens and with Scapegoats. But I didn't really see him. I only drew him twice. And one time I got him out and he dominates. He shuts down your opponent's effect monsters And if you can use his effect to suck up a big enough monster to equip, then you can't get rolled over very easily. He's a great card, I just wish I saw him more on draws. Black Luster Soldier, Envoy.
Here it's pretty good.
Yeah, like everyone said, you had to play this card at the tournament to do well at all. I only really got him out 3 or 4 times, and I didn't use him to attack. I used him purely to remove stuff. But he was banned for a reason. Great card. Necrogardna is it was an easy card to have sent to the graveyard. It's a great mill, dark target for my Chaos monsters. And it helped a lot against decks that were playing the Absolute Zero decks, because once all my monsters got destroyed, they would either Miracle Fusion to something else next turn, or they would just sync up, and it protects you for as big attack as you need, usually.
Cool.
It was a great card all day. Singing searches out. Mainly I use it for junk synchrons, but I'll go to Veeler a lot too, so I can get a luster target in the graveyard. Veeler negate your opponent's effect. I wish I would have used him more.
Would you play 2 then, or?
Yeah, I would have liked to have 2, and I would have liked to use Veeler as like a first defense instead of trying to use other cards to stop effects. Just a great card. You can't not play it in a Chaos deck. Cyber Dragon, another card I wish I would have played 2 of. He's so good when I open with him and lose the dice roll, because I can special summon him and then summon a Junk Synchron and then go into Junk Destroyer, which is a level 8 Synchron that'll show you a sync that'll show you later. But you can destroy a monster. You can destroy cards equal to the non-tuners, so it's an instant 2600 monster and destroying one of their cards. And he rolls over high defense. He's really helped against elemental heroes. Just really helpful card.
Yeah, that 2500 being over that's kind of like the magic number. Being at 26, awesome.
Thunder King. I was thinking I really would have liked to play 2. That's how I've been going into it. I've been trying to get the second one for a while now. But I think 1 is really the magic number, especially when he's splitting time with DD Warrior Lady. He helped a lot against Sangan and Hero decks just because they couldn't search. Somebody tried to go Stratos and didn't even think about Thunder King's effect, so that was nice.
Oops.
It also helps that he's 1900 attack, and I don't have a lot of high attack monsters that I don't have to synchro to get to. So that just helps a lot. Another great card. I didn't actually end up using his other effect to negate a special summon at all. He just got suicided into by E-Heroes most of the day, but overall, great card. DD Warrior Lady. I decided to main it instead of side deck it because, as a lot of the cards in my deck, it's a light, so it's good for Luster Soldier. And it just gets rid of those pesky monsters, Dark Arm Dragon, Judgment Dragon, just the things that just get in the way. You can just take a little extra damage and run it into it, and then remove it. And that's it's the best way to get rid of a lot of cards, because it doesn't destroy. And then the last monster I was running was Gale. And I have always been really iffy on Gale, and usually I side it out. But it was a great card all day. It got me over Thunder Kings, which really kind of which were shutting down a lot of decks at this tournament. It's just great. It helps you get over Sinks, and it's a tuner. Just a great card.
Cool. How many monsters were in there?
21.
Okay.
The spell lineup is pretty simple. There's not a whole lot of special cards. Triple space. I was, as were most of us on the team, we were just worried about Heavy Storm and Starlight. We thought we could just do more damage with Space Typhoon, and we were right. I loved it. I never really saw myself wishing I had Heavy Storm. I didn't even have Heavy Storm sighted. And
wow, you went all out, just not play it at all.
I was dedicated. I was really happy with Triple Space. I saw him all the time. I got it with whenever I saw Space as a duality. That was usually my target. It was great.
Cool.
It helped a lot. Mind Control. I play a heavy sync deck. If I'm going to be synchroning, why not use my opponent's monsters? Monster Reborn's pretty staple. You got to play it. Same with Book of Moon. I actually use Book of Moon for a lot more specialty reasons though today.
You've got about 5 minutes.
Alright. I use Book to get over Thunder King. Because I can't search, I can't do a lot of my stuff with Thunder King on the field, so Book helps a lot, especially when I need to go to those big synchros. Allure of Darkness, didn't really use it much. I cited it out a lot. Helped a few times. Still a good card, just didn't see the time of this tournament. Scapegoat, I actually just threw in for the tournament, for regional specifically, and it helped a lot. I just think I use the beast tokens a lot to go to Fitzgerald. It's just a great card.
Cool. I didn't think about that.
Also used it for Plasma a few times. Reinforcement of the Army, search out Junk Synchron, Armageddon Knight.
DD Warrior Lady too.
Yeah, DD, all of them. Pretty simple card. Dark Hole's a staple. You gotta play it. Duality's kind of a staple now too, that it's been reprinted. A lot of people think it's weird in my deck because I sink so much and there's so much special summoning. But it's fine because it gives me turns to set Doppel and Raiko. Warrior Returning I used on my mills. For basically if I milled Junk Synchron or Luster Soldier, I would just get them back. Pretty simple. Tuning. Gets me my Junk Synchrons and sends a card to the graveyard. Really can't ask for much more than that in one card. For my trap lineup, I was running 13 Magics, by the way. My trap lineup's pretty simple. Only 6. I was running 2 calls. I used them for Space Typhoon target, or for Space Typhoon bait, and then I would get a Card Trooper or Sangan for the extra effect. This is my big move with the double calls. Torrential, I really didn't use it. I cited it out a lot, but it's such an important card. It's like Dark Hole. You kind of got to play it. Bottomless Trap Hole, I decided to play instead of 2 Deep Prisons because it really helps against heroes since they're only summoning once a turn, and it just gives me time. That's all I really need.
What were your thoughts on the one Bottomless? Do you see it enough?
Yeah, I actually see. I kind of view Bottomless and Prison as they both I use them for the same thing, and I see between the two of them, I see more than enough.
All right.
Deep Prison, Stardust is is the best thing I can get rid of with it, but it always helps to remove from opponent's monsters. Mirror Force, same thing. Destroy your opponent's monsters. Field advantage.
All right. You have about 2.5 minutes.
Alright. For the extra deck, it's pretty basic. Armory Arm, I didn't see much of it all. I only summoned him once. I was thinking I'd use him to sync up more, but he just didn't help a lot. I think I would probably swap him out for Utopia also. Xaber Wayne is a huge card in this deck. People wonder why I play him, but I can summon another Junk Synchron with his effect, and it's just an easy 8, whether it be Destroyer, Stardust, anything. Frozen Fitzgeralds are one of my favorite synchros. You can't activate spell or traps between him declaring an attack and the damage step, so that just shuts down the backfield. It helps. It's great. Junk Warrior is my favorite Junk sync. He gains the attack of all level 2 or lower monsters on the field, so he gains 400 from those Doppel tokens I was telling you about earlier, making him an instant 3100 on summon. Used him all day. He's just a great beatdown monster. Catastor destroys monsters that aren't darks automatically in battle. Didn't use him a lot. Kind of just used him as a 2200. Wasn't that helpful today. Gaia Knight, pretty simple, 2600, 6-star. Brio I didn't use very often either, mainly to get rid of dimensional fissures, stuff like that. But otherwise he didn't see much time. Junk Berserker I didn't summon at all. I mainly had him for Gravekeepers, but I didn't play Gravekeepers, so it wasn't a big deal. Black Rose I thought would be really helpful, but it got me Starlight Roaded more often than not.
Yikes. Run through the rest of the synchros real quick, and then we'll do your extra deck or side deck in another video.
Stardust Dragon I didn't summon once, actually. Just didn't find time where he was more important than Junk Destroyer. Junk Destroyers. They set up so many of my big plays just because I can destroy extra cards on the field. Usually I would go back row and just attack over the monsters. But it was all very deck dependent.
Alright, this is a continuation of the Chaos Junk deck. Kind of ran over time on the last one, so we'll just keep going from here. So with the Junk Destroyers, do you have anything else to say about those?
Yeah, these were kind of my ace at the tournament. My big combo was Scapegoat, Junk Warrior, and then take a 2 from my graveyard. And summon one of these guys and destroy 4 of my opponent's cards.
Wow, that's huge.
I actually got that out twice yesterday. And just so much field advantage with that play.
Did you ever get hit with a Starlight Road on that?
I actually didn't,
Wow.
which I thought was weird.
That's cool.
But it was, these cards are great. I love them. Especially since they're so easy to get to. Trishula helped a lot. I only used it twice, but both times was against the Monarch deck. And getting rid of Treeborn is just really helpful. Actually, I actually used it one other time against Heroes. But it's not the biggest sink in this deck by any stretch, but it's Trishula. It's helpful. It's a great card nonetheless.
Cool.
Side deck. I think my side deck played a huge role today. I had sided really hard for Lightsworns and Agents, but I really just didn't see them. I had 2 Kinetic Soldiers in for Samurais just by off chance, and Hero decks. And they helped so much against Absolute Zero decks and just other hero variants. These guys are great. I couldn't play a whole tournament without having them sided in. Breaker was another one of those fun side deck cards that just was unbelievably helpful. Whether it be against Gravekeepers or against Macro or just to destroy a back row card, Breaker helped a ton. And then I can Armageddon Knight and go up to a Utopia. I wish I would have had that combo available to me for this tournament, but I didn't. DD Crow. Usually he sees a lot more playtime for me, but I just couldn't find time to play him over 2 Crevice, and I couldn't find the room with all the other cards in the deck. He's a great card, really helpful, especially for like Reborn or like just random targeting, but he just didn't see much time for me today. Trap Dust Shoot. I had him main for a while, but I took it out, and I didn't even side it in really that much. It seems like whenever I use it, they have so many cards in their hand that it just can't stop a play no matter what. They always seem to have a play when I do it. Solemn Judgment was another card that I thought would really help out today that I just didn't use. It's really good, negate pretty much anything, but I never had anything that I wanted to pay half my life points to negate.
Yeah, it's costly.
So I had it, I saw it, I drew it, I just didn't use it. Chain Disappearance usually plays a huge role for me, but today didn't see much action. I only got to use it once against a Karakuri deck, and it just didn't help much. I was a little disappointed in that as a side. Crevice. This card was my ace as a side. I won at least 3 of my matches because of this card. Whether it be against Flame Veils or just removing Lights and Darks, this card is so good in this format. I think it's the best side deck card this format, to be completely honest.
Cool.
Malevolent Catastrophes I thought would be really helpful. I thought it would be good against macros and just stuff that I normally have trouble against Gravekeepers. But I never really found a time I would have been able to use it. My back row was getting destroyed anyways, so I never got to use them because they weren't on the field. They didn't help. I wish I would have played 2 Dust Tornadoes instead of Catastrophes.
Alright.
Like I said, I sided pretty hard for Agents and Lightsworn, but I didn't see any Agents or Lightsworn, any of those type of decks, so these cards didn't get any action, even though I was really excited about having them in my side deck, but they just didn't see any time. And then same thing for Nobleman. Had it for Gravekeepers, didn't see Gravekeepers, so he didn't get played.
Alright. Any final thoughts on the deck? Any advice you'd have for somebody trying to play it or anything?
Like I said, the only thing is I think I would like to play Utopia instead of Armory. side deck Dust Tornado instead of Catastrophes. But for people who want to play it, it's a really fun deck, but it takes a little bit of time to learn, just like any deck.
Yeah, so just get your play
a lot of
testing
big
in.
combos. Test it before you play any big
All right.
tournaments.
Well, cool. Thanks for sharing the deck with us.